Hello everyone and welcome to part 3 of my branding design process series. So if you have not seen my previous videos, I am taking you guys along a full branding process for an actual client of mine. So if you have not checked those out, I will link it up above here and I'll also link it down below. And I always get it messed up on which side. I think it'll be up here, but definitely go check those out so you can see the full branding process, because there's really so many steps that go into an effective and a really timeless branding design. So definitely go check those out. But as a refresher, here are the different phases that I provide in my branding design package. So if you are new to graphic design and you're not quite sure what branding even is, that's basically just providing my clients the logo designs, the fonts, the colors, the guidelines on how to use everything visually. And then also I do include a strategy so that they know how to show up in their brand, both visually and strategically. So that is a lot of brands and businesses have a brand guideline, and that's something I love to provide for my clients. So here's the different phases. Phase 1 is the design and direction. So I want to make sure that I have the strategy nailed down. Go check out that video if you want to see everything included in that phase. Phase 2 is the logo design and exploration. So I do provide my clients revisions if they do want me to edit the logo to make sure it's perfect. I do provide revisions, so that phase can end up being a little longer depending on the amount of revisions my client needs. And then phase 3, which is what I'll be talking about today, is packaging it all up. So that is when I figure out which logo files to export, when I do every single color version of the logo. And I also like to export any patterns, any colors, anything that is like a brand asset to my clients. I like to export that and send it over to them. So in this video, I will be specifically focusing on that and showing you guys behind the scenes of what files I like to export and how I send that to my clients. So super excited. And then on the last phase, I will show you guys like an offboarding experience if you want to make sure that you're getting a client testimonial and that you're kind of closing the project out so you both know that the project is finalized and that they have everything they need. So I'm super excited though to show you guys this specific phase. So I will be showing you guys the same client I showed you in the last few phases, and I'm gonna just go onto my computer screen and walk you through the different files I'll be exporting and an easy way to change the colors and add swatches and kind of a nicer, quicker way to do everything. And then I also have a few hacks on how to rename all the files. That way it's easy for your client to kind of see and organize everything. And then I'll show you guys how I send that off to them. So if you are interested, before I jump over to my computer screen, if you are interested in seeing like a full branding process with every single piece of detail that I provide, I do have a course on this. I have a custom branding design process course, as well as a logo design course that's focused only on that phase 2 part of the process, when I really dive deep into logo designs and how to create a custom awesome logo. So anyway, enough said, let's hop on over to my computer screen and I will show you guys how I export everything, how I send this to my clients, and how I package it all up. All right, you guys, the first thing that I'm doing is just making sure that the color palette has the correct codes. So I like to include the hex code and the CMYK code. CMYK is important to know for print purposes, so I do like to include that. So what I'm doing is just typing those codes in, and an easy way to get the colors easily edited on your Adobe Illustrator is to have them in a color palette like I have on the right here, and just going into swatches and adding it as a new swatch. And then you can just easily see the different codes right in front of you. That's usually the easiest way just to get all of the colors easily edited and added to the document. So that's what I'm working on, making sure the color palette is easily understood for them so they know how to use it. And then for this particular client, I'm adding in little notes on where to use these specific colors so that they know which ones can be used for buttons on the website, which ones should be used for like background colors, things like that. I feel like it kind of helps to have some guidelines on where to use them, especially for their palette, because it's all different shades of pink and it could get confusing on what to use when. And also some of those colors don't look good on top of each other, so I want to make sure that they know how to use them. Okay, so now I'm just adding in the primary logo design, and I'm going to add in the secondary logo design as well. Just clicking through my tabs. So those are the primary and secondary, and then I like to have a page that shows the different color options of each of these logos. Kind of helps for them to see them in use in a different way. So I'm just bringing them over here and adding them on top of the colors, and this also will help them when they're referencing the color palette to see like which ones can overlap with each other. And then another important page is to make sure that I have all the fonts listed out here so they know how to use them and also which ones go for heading and subheading. So I do get questions all the time on like, do I purchase my fonts for my clients? Do I make them purchase the license? In an ideal situation, I would prefer my clients to buy the license so it's under their name, because sometimes when you have it installed on a website that's linked with your name, it kind of protects you legally if anything were to happen. However, there are times I purchase the license, but I don't install it on my computer and I just send the files to them. That also is a good way to do it as well. So I'm working on the back page. I just wanted to add in that kind of concrete texture that I have on the mood board and make sure the back page also looks good. Okay, so I created a pattern. As you can see, I added that into the page, but now I'm working on making the logo in every single color from the color palette. So I'm just kind of zooming in and making sure that the element itself has the correct color and the correct strokes and everything. So this part kind of takes a little bit of time. It's a little bit tedious, but I'm just making sure that they have every color option that they might need in the primary logo. And now I'm doing the same thing with the secondary logo. This one's easy, there's no element, so it's just simply clicking the swatch, making sure that the colors are changed. So now I just copied over all the primary logos so that I can easily just edit the submark. And I also wanted to give them the illustration on its own outside of the kind of like emblem style, because that's what I used on the pattern and it could be used on other things. Easy way to get an artboard around all these items is to hit Shift and O on your keyboard and just click the item and it'll create an artboard perfectly around each element. So now we have all of those set, and I'm just kind of like double checking it to make sure it all looks okay. And then I'm actually going to create these logos in different options, like so they can see what it looks like when it's pink and white, and like the beige and dark pink. So I like to provide this for them too. This also gives them something that they can use as a profile image if they ever do need to do that. So it's kind of nice to provide them this as well. So if you're wondering which files I export PNG files around 300 ppi. I like to do resolution based, and then I also export these as PDFs so that they have the files as that as well. So here is me just adding it into the Google Drive. I send these over through Google Drive. I'm copying the links of each different folder and actually linking it on the brand guideline so they can just click on this and be taken to the area to download all of their files. And I have Adobe Acrobat to create these PDFs with the buttons. It makes it super easy to send it over to them. So that is basically everything I do to make sure they have everything they need, and I have all those different folders in the Google Drive for them. Alright, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed seeing more of the branding process and the phase 3 of the process, which is really the fun part because you get to put it all together and send it off to the clients, and it's kind of like a really fun feeling. It's a really exciting feeling to finalize the project and have those file types ready for them to use. And it's also super fun for the clients because they've invested in working with you and they're getting the package that they wanted, and you're kind of like handing it off to them. So it's really fun. It should be celebrated. Make sure your clients know that this is an exciting part of their journey. And yeah, it's super fun to do. So I really hope you enjoyed kind of seeing my behind the scenes process of this. And like I mentioned earlier on, I do have a full course on branding design as well as a full course on phase 2, which is the logo design process. So definitely go check those out if you want to learn a little more from me. And I also always have free resources down below. I feel like I never mentioned that, but I do have a lot of really fun free resources that I feel are helpful to you in your graphic design business. So definitely go check those out down below as well. But I hope you guys are doing so well, and if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it so much. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and I will see you in my next video.